Life is for living, and at First International Bank and Trust, we're all about living, helping your dreams come true. Because we're not just in the banking business. We're in the first home business, the community sponsorship business, the how do I make this happen business, making your banking life easy so you can focus on what matters most. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
Coming to you live from the Bonfire Studios North, it's another episode of Tauros Weekly. I'm your host, Peter Theodos. Joining me, as always, is Mr. Ken Oda. And Ken, it's good to be back.
It is, and we're back on weekly now.
We are, yeah.
I think we're 3 or 4 weeks in a row here, and it's good to be kind of back in the full swing of things here.
Yeah, and for once, we're actually not having an alum on the show today.
We kind of are.
We kind of do. Fans, please welcome to the show once again for the second time as a head coach, Shane Wagner. Shane, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
Shane,
let's start with just what the summer's been like for you so far since we talked to you right before the draft. But from what I understand, I'm pretty happy with the draft results, and then now just getting ready for camps.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually really happy with our draft, and I'm really happy with the guys we signed. And it feels weird. I was talking to one of our scouts the other day, and it feels like the supplemental draft was almost a year ago, and we got another year to our next draft. So I'm just excited to chomp at the bit. I've been talking with a few of the guys, and yeah, it's been a little crazy, but yeah, I'm getting ready to roll here. That's for sure.
Why don't you talk a little bit about the players that you took in the supplemental draft? Kind of give us a little bit on your thoughts about them. A little technical difficulty.
Option for us in that. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you're breaking up. Now you're back, but you broke up there for a little bit. So let's go back over that goalie there.
Oh, so we drafted Keenan Rins here out of Estevan, and I've heard a lot of great things from him. I haven't seen much of him play, but I know Wyatt has, and Wyatt was thrilled with him. Cole Stoffett, another D that I was really, we're nervous that we might not get him. I know he had interest from a few other teams. He's an Air Force commit. Hopefully he'll be a 2-year guy for us, real solid back there. And Blaine more than that. And he's he's a USHL guy. And, if he ends up in the North American Hockey League, we're going to be pretty lucky to have him. He's going to be a huge fit for the program.
He's actually scored in the Mesa Arena before, but he scored against us during a playoff game with the Bobcats, right?
Yeah, and I remember if you look at his points back from those days, I know he didn't crush the point sheet, but I thought in those games he played against us, he was effective, he was physical, he played a hard game. I can see why he had a good year in the USHL, and I think a lot of teams did that with that supplemental draft. They used it to kind of take those flyers on maybe those guys that might not last their 20-year-old year in the league, and we definitely don't want to play against them, that's for sure.
How does the rest of the roster look with a bunch of guys coming back and the new tenders and the draft picks?
Yeah, I think we got a couple. A lot of times with our tenders are mostly, I'd say, high school or young midget kids, and we've done a good job this year of getting kind of guys that have played junior hockey, whether it's in Canada or other leagues, and I think that experience is going to carry over. Guys will be ready to roll. We're hoping to get the majority of our guys back, and we're kind of at the mercy of the USHL, and that's a great league, and they're going to grab guys, but I think that veteran presence and guys know what they have to do. I mean, the groundwork was laid when Marty and I first got them last year, and I think they're excited and they're hungry to get back after it.
Yeah, a lot of guys you mentioned the USHL, Russ and Clevin, both got taken early in the draft this year. Stibbe, I think his rights still belong to Fargo. How difficult does it make it to plan for the upcoming season when you have to wait for USHL camps to finish to even find out if you're getting some of the players who were key players last year, to find out if they're even coming back.
Yeah, I think that's, especially when I talk to prospective players, they look at our roster and, even like a guy like Sam Skinner, he's an 01 on our roster, but he's going into school next year. So a lot of times when we're recruiting these guys, they think, well, you got all these guys coming back. And at the time we're like, yeah, but there's a lot of unknowns. I like to think of like Cody Sherman last year. He was coming into our main camp and then was told by Tri-City that he was going to be there and not even come to our main camp. So there all of a sudden went one of our depth centermen, that eventually we got back. But, it's just one of those things you got to plan for. And our staff's always done a good job with our camps, and getting those guys to be there. If, say Clevin stays in Waterloo or Russell stays in Sioux Falls, or who knows who makes a lot of our players will be at USHL camps, and we'll have the best making sure that we have guys there that can fill in for them.
You mentioned camps. We took a look back on MinotaurosHockey.com at some of the players who have made our roster out of camps. For you guys, with as much scouting as you do on video, how much do you learn about players that may already be signed or tendered once you actually get to see them live? I imagine for a lot of these guys, it's the first time you're actually seeing them in person.
Yeah, it's tough too. And a lot of the guys, we're lucky with our filming, with the Mesa and the great job you guys do. And I think it helps our guys with colleges because they can watch our film, and it's great. And some of these midget players, these high school players, sometimes at these tournaments, the filming is not the best. So you might see a highlight here and there, but the little nuances, the stopping and starts, the finishing checks, that's what we kind of look for at those camps. And it's nice to see in person, like how hard they actually work it. But yeah, it's one of those things that you have to go out there and watch them, and you have to watch them carefully.
And a lot of our vets, I believe our vets have to skate in a camp. What is their presence there for? Is it just so you could check in, or do you use them as a baseline to, okay, we know who these guys are, so now it gives you a chance to compare the players you don't know to them?
Yeah, and I think the last few years, it's been different. I remember after the first year when we went to Robertson, it was different. Those guys were just coming off that long run, so they were a little beat up, so we kind of gave them some leeway. But now we want to see our vets come in shape, ready to roll for the next season, and kind of sets a presence where we know if they're ready to go or if they're not, and we got to maybe think of a plan B. But yeah, the vets are there to make the team just as much as the other guys are.
You mentioned guys have to come into camp in shape. With so many players coming back and having so many tenders and draft picks this summer, is there maybe more competition for the veterans this year than there typically would be? I know in past years when we've only had 5 or 6 guys coming back, they were pretty much a lock to make the team just because you need some veteran presence. Now with, I think, 15 or 16 guys eligible to return, they might not be as safe as they would be in past years. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, and I like to tell them, I always give the vets a benefit of the doubt. They came there for a year and they battled, and I'm going to go to bat for those guys, But if they aren't doing their part to make us a championship team, then we got to kind of think, well, who is, But yeah, it's going to be a battle. We're trying to put the best team on the ice, and if our players come back in shape, they're going to get every opportunity to do so, And we've had, I think to a few guys in the past few years where they come into camp and we almost had to snap them in the eye and say, hey, like, you're not on the team yet. This is a new year. You need to pick it up, and they have. For the most part, I don't think we've had a guy come up to camp and not getting back. But yeah, it's, when we go to main camp, I need to bring in, the 25, 30 guys that are going to give us a winning chance to get out there and get the Robertson.
You were talking about getting the boys in shape and all that. Have you set out a summer workout plan for them, or have you been kind of just letting them do their own thing? Obviously, with a lot of gyms and a lot of rinks being closed, is there any specific thing that you're having the guys do, or are you just telling them to essentially be active when they can?
Yeah, I know Kevin's kind of we're so lucky to have Kevin, our trainer, on staff. He does a great job. He's been checking in with the guys, making sure they're doing something. And I'll check in with the guys every now and then, and I can't imagine what it's like to be a player right now. I remember back to my junior days where it was like, get to the rink, get ready to roll, do your workouts, all that stuff. And now, kids in the state of Minnesota, unless they can get to Wisconsin or the Dakotas, they can't even scrimmage. And I think the gyms just open up, so they're kind of behind the 8 ball, and even if they want to do it, it's tough. But for right now, we just want the players, get out running, do something, and once you get hit the ice. It's going to be a long season, so I'm not too worried. But sitting at home playing video games all day, all night, probably wouldn't do them the best.
Do you think there's going to be any extended training or anything like that at the beginning of the year to kind of just either knock off the rust or kind of get them more motivated or get them in better shape or anything like that?
I don't know. I don't think I'm not sure, to be honest. The nice thing is, I remember back to those days too. We think of ourselves now, to get in game shape, that's going to take months. Where these kids are resilient, they're tough, and they're deep down, they're professional players. They want it. So I think they'll be ready to go. But I do think, we might have to pull the reins on some of them a little bit because it is still going to be a long, long season. But yeah, I think getting an exhibition series, playing those scrimmages, and then just getting some inter squad key. Just these guys haven't played since March, and then we'll have camp July 31st, basically 20 days later.
You mentioned guys coming to Minot about 20 days after main camp, and that's, I believe we've set that date now. August 24th is when players will be reporting to Minot, as long as everything keeps going as it looks like it is here in North Dakota. Are you excited to kind of have some of those dates written down now and able to start planning?
Yeah, I'm excited, and I think a little bit nervous at the same time, just with how fluid everything is. But yeah, I'm thrilled. Starting to schedule the exhibition games, starting to talk to the guys about when to be there at camp. I'm overly excited. We got a great group of guys, but to see it actually laid out now, after 3 months of sitting there in my house, it's nice to believe that there's other stuff out there. So, yeah, I'm thrilled. I think the guys, the guys I've talked to, and I know we got our Zoom tomorrow, but they just want to get back after it. And I look at my 8-year-old son, and he drives me crazy, but right now we have nothing to put him into, So I think once, and everything will turn and it'll get there. And once it does, I'm going to be just excited to get out there and get playing hockey and watching hockey again.
We're talking a lot about hockey, obviously, and the excitement behind that. But you and your family are going to be moving here to Minot after you got the promotion. Is there anything off the ice that is extremely exciting or something that you're looking forward to?
I just think them being there full time, and it's always been tough. And we talked about moving out there for years, but my daughter has a weird little thing that we wanted to stay close to the U of M Children's here. And we feel pretty confident that we'll be okay out there. And, with all the good support we have. And my son thinks that pretty much us going to Pizza Planet every day is going to be the life, and then heading the air ground every other day. But as of now, no, I'm just excited to have them out there and be a part. And, every night I talk to Megan or my wife on the phone, it'd be telling her about my day, and it'll be nice to have her, involved. And she knows the great people. She's been out there and she loves being out there. It'll just be nice for them to actually get in there and to be a part of the community.
One last thing before we let you go here. Talking about the camps, why don't you touch on that a little bit, where they're located, and if any players are interested, how they can sign up for them.
So we have 2 pre-draft combines. It's kind of the new thing that we've done the last few years, where we joined up with the Wilderness, St. Cloud, the Norsemen, and the Magicians, and trying to think, and Bismarck. And we'll have 3 teams there and no play. So last year we actually had 6 total teams out of the 2 camps. The one that was in Minnesota, that this year will be in Hudson, Wisconsin, and the one that was in Trenton, Michigan, that will be in Dyer, Indiana. We had 6 total teams, and on those 6 total teams, we had 5 guys drafted, and 4 were 2 other teams in the league. And we drafted one of them off our team. So it's kind of a nice thing. And I tell kids, like, we're out here for you, you know, and if you come to a combine and another team likes you and they draft you, and we didn't draft you before them, then it's you know, their luck. You know, we didn't draft you in time, but you know, at the end of the day, we got to give the kids a chance to play. And so, yeah, we got the 2 combine camps in Hudson, Wisconsin. I believe, to refresh my memory, it's July 17th.
I don't know the dates off the top of my head. I think the 2nd and 3rd weekend of July. I don't know what those exact dates are.
Yep, and they're back to back, and the first one is in Dyer, Indiana, and then the next one's in Hudson. Then and those are open to anyone, and we bring a lot of our guys that were that's a great place to get started. You know, then the guys that get invited back to main camp, that will be July 31st in Somerset, Wisconsin, and that's where we're going to have to narrow down our guys. You know, all the vets will be there, required to be there, our draft picks, our tendered players. And that's where the real hard decisions will have to be made.
Yeah, it's July 10th through 12th in Dyer, and then July 17th through 19th in Hudson. And then, like you said, main camp July 31st through August 2nd. And then before we let you go, earlier you mentioned the Zoom meeting tomorrow. What's the plan for that? You're going to be meeting with the full protected list, really for the first time since players left town. Are you looking forward to that? What are you hoping to get out of that meeting?
Just get the guys excited to be together, you know. And I've always been a big team guy. Like, to have a good team, everyone's got to kind of be on the same page, and they got to want to be there. And I think we had great guys last year. We had even guys that kind of came from different areas. They really gelled in. They're great. But I'm just excited to get these guys on board and let them know, like, kind of our focus here. And even though we're away and we haven't gotten started yet and we haven't been able to do anything, and with Marty gone, but our focus is still the same. We still have a great organization, a great town, and just to be ready to go. And I'll probably talk about the new scoreboard too, because I think the guys will be excited about that.
I think everyone will be excited about that. I know I'm looking forward to getting a new big toy to play with, so it should be fun.
It's going to be great. Wags, we appreciate you coming on the show as always, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
Sounds good, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Wags.
That I don't think we've actually talked about that on the show yet, have we?
We have not.
The new scoreboard that the park board approved earlier this month, a 4-sided video board with the LED ring underneath, a couple of scoreboards at each end of the ice as well. So a big upgrade coming to the Mesa Arena, and I'm really excited for us to get our hands on it and unveil it here at the start of the season.
You know, and I saw something too on, I don't know if it was Twitter or Facebook, but it was some article that was put out, and it was saying how the Mesa Arena is the 3rd largest capacity rink or something like that in the state of North Dakota.
I think the only one with 3 sheets under one roof.
Yeah. So once again, you just add that scoreboard, another reason why little Minot, North Dakota is a very great place to play hockey.
You know, I think it's awesome. Kudos to Pepsi. Pepsi is the main sponsor of the new video board, so you know, they continue to do amazing things for the hockey community here in Minot. It's already the Pepsi rink for a reason.
Exactly.
They contributed a lot to that building being put up, and now they're really just capping it off with what is going to be a beautiful new piece of equipment right hanging at center ice. And you know, I'm looking forward to just how much cooler it's going to make pregame, how much cooler it's going to make the in-game experience, the ability to show replays instantly when we score, the ability to do some more fan interaction stuff. I think, you know, as much as I love the screens we had, those were carried over from the old arena, which was smaller. The Eck rink, you know, unquestionably was smaller, so the screens didn't have to be as big. They didn't have to be as bright. It got got a lot darker, was not nearly as bright as the new lights in the Pepsi rink. So, those screens worked when we were in the middle rink, but they didn't do the job in the new building as much as we would like them to. And I'm really excited to see the new building.
A lot of fan interactions going on through this episode. Josh Doley checking in says hi, Wally Mock. Josh Doley gives Wally Mock a high five. Gotta love that.
I see your West Virginia.
Yeah,
fan
my
club
parents
is
are checking in as well. Herm Fennell, one of my old intern coworkers, checking in. Country Road Stand Up. I like that. And then Thomas Kroll asking, is Ken going to switch to Pepsi? The big question of the day.
I do drink Pepsi at the office. I'm kind of I'm not brand picky. I probably should.
I'm not either.
I should be brand pickier, but I tend to just whatever's there in front of me is what I'll drink. So I probably should. Considering the new video board we're getting, I probably should switch to Pepsi full time.
Exactly. One more thing before we get off this episode. James LaDouce, a Tauros alum, who was driving home from, if I get this right, Alaska.
Yes, he was. He's just finished his senior year at Alaska Fairbanks. He was driving back through on his way home. This was a couple of months ago, and we've just been we've been holding on to this interview until we basically had needed some filler.
And it's actually kind of funny. I saw a little bit of it to look back on it.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
Let's just say this you can definitely tell is pre-COVID or right at the beginning of it. So if Sean, you can roll that clip real quick for us.
Tauros alum James LaDouce, who just finished his senior year at Alaska. James, let's just update fans what you've been doing for the last 4 seasons.
Just been enjoying the ride, college life. It's been seems short but long at times out there. It's been really enjoyable. Just enjoying my time out there and just taking it in.
Now, aside from playing college hockey, what did you study up in Alaska?
So I'm going to be graduating with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a minor in business administration.
Have you thought about post-college plans yet?
Not really. I've been asked that a lot, but just kind of focusing on getting done with school and worry about that when it's all said and done.
Now, as a Toro alum, how much have you followed the program over the last 4 years while you were gone?
Yeah, I usually keep track and see how the guys are doing throughout the year. I'll reach out to Marty from time to time and just tell him, good luck tonight. Or I know when everyone was pushing into playoffs, that I think that was in 2018 when they made the run. I was keeping in touch with them and just kind of watching over and seeing how they're doing.
You came up a little bit this year. Sam Skinner, Tauros defenseman, who broke your single season record for points by a defenseman. How did it feel to see that record finally go down after 4 years?
It was cool to see, actually. I texted Marty when I found out and told him to extend my congratulations to him. It's an awesome thing to achieve, and he should be proud of it. And it sucks that they kind of had their season cut short to see how far he could have gone with it. But he should really be proud of what he did. For sure.
You, as a Toro, how much did being a Toro for that season before you went off to school, how much did that help you get ready for college hockey?
When I came in, I don't think I, in previous years, got the opportunity to really show what I could do. And I think coming in, Marty, gave me a really good opportunity to display, who I am on the ice. And I think just the quality to play, the leadership here from coaching staff and, the environment, the community, really nothing but all good things to say as far as prepping me to go to college and kind of just be ready to handle whatever that life throws at me as well.
Now, this is your first time back here at the Mesa since you played your last game here. What do you think of the new building?
It's beautiful. If you're a kid looking to play junior hockey at a good experience, a good location with good locker room, good atmosphere, it's top notch for sure.
All right, I'll let you get on and finish your drive home back to Michigan. But thanks for stopping by the Mesa and spending a few minutes talking to me.
Yeah, thanks, Ken.
Yeah, that was not great for me. But
No, the ending wasn't great, but oh well.
We assumed you were talking about the hair, but looking at the video, I think you realize it's old because I've lost about 10 pounds since then, right, Peter?
We'll go with that.
Sure.
I'll let you believe that, bud. I'll let you believe that. If you cut your hair, maybe you lose 10 pounds of hair. Oh, gotta love another episode of Tauros Weekly. Before we leave, don't forget, fans, the link is in the description above this video. Friday is the final day for the Grantley Johnson Memorial Jersey Auction on Dash. Make sure you get your bids in. Proceeds will go to the Johnson family to help them with medical expenses. It's a great jersey.
It is.
We saw them throughout warm-ups. We saw the Grantley game, which was just a beautiful tribute to him. And then obviously the hats. Gotta love the hats. But yeah, those jerseys. 2 more days to bid on those.
Auction ends Friday, so
at 7 p.m.
So make sure you get your bids in. Let's raise some money for Grantley's family. And I think that's it.
That's all I got. For Sean Bachhoven, once again running the tech and doing a fantastic job. That's Ken Oda. I'm Peter Theodos signing off from the Bonfire Studios North.